Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if you happen to be new, thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to be focused all on guppies. And as you know, I happen to actually love guppies, one of my favorite fish ever. I've had so many breeding set up in the fish room, breeding all different strains of guppies. Today we're going to be focused on a specific strain of guppy, and well, it's really just called the feeder guppy. And while guppies are super easy to breed, and to breed them in pretty much any type of setup or container. Since they are prolific breeders and they're easy to breed in any type of setup, today's setup is gonna be super simple. Something that every one of you can go pick up right now. Well, pretty much every one of you. If you have a Walmart that's close by, that's all you need. So with that, let's get our supplies gathered up and let's get this guppy breeding system set up. This right here is going to be our guppy breeding setup. Simplistic little blue pool, and I've already got some gravel substrate washed and ready to go in here. Now there is another substrate that's going to be going in here, and I will talk about that in just a moment. Go ahead and add a couple of larger rocks just for a little bit of aesthetic. Let's go ahead and get this thing filled up with water. So what happened was I took this sand out of the wrong spot. This sand was actually a part of a reptile enclosure, so it has a bunch of fiber in it, which is what you see floating here, and I'm gonna have to get all that out. So, oh well, sometimes things happen. So let's get this thing filled up and we'll get all this cocoa fiber out of here. We do have a little bit that's left in here that you can kind of see floating at the top. That's okay, we'll get that with a net. With this thing filled up, I want to go ahead and get this dechlorinated, get it treated and those kinds of things, because we need to go ahead and get a filtration system in here to start cleaning up this water. So the first thing we're going to do is dechlorinate this water. And what I'm going to use for that? API Aqua Essential. Now that that's in there, I want to go ahead and get the water kind of stirred up and mixed up. So one of the elements that we're going to add to this is a air stone. So we'll just add this right over here in the corner, kind of just bury it down in the substrate a little bit. And we're going to attach this to just a regular aerator. As you can see, this thing is going to oxygenate this water very, very well. It's doing a great job. Now that that is in there, let's go ahead and get our filtration in here. For filtration, I'm going to be using one of these sponge filters. Now this sponge filter, you can completely articulate, so you can move it around however you need it to be. You can adjust the top of the head. It has suction cups on the back. You can actually find these on my website at freshwaterscrub.com. In fact, use the code GUPPY and get 10% off all your orders of plants, merchandise, sponge filters, things of that nature. And what we'll do is place a rock right there on top of it just to hold it down. And let's go ahead and get this thing hooked up to an aerator as well. Thing is completely set up. The water needs to clear up a little bit. We've got the sponge filter running, we have our aerator going, everything is looking good in here. So what we need to do is go ahead and cycle this, and we're not going to put any fish in here until this is cycled, because there is no pre-cycled media in here. The sponges aren't, the substrate was not. Technically this air stone right here was pre-cycled. It was in a fully set up tank. That is not enough to actually cycle this system and keep it healthy. So what we're going to do is use another one of our favorite API products, and that is API Quick Start, which is a liquid bacteria. It will automatically jumpstart the cycle in this setup, allowing for the addition of fish. However, it's always recommended that you actually fully cycle, which is what we're going to do. We're going to let this thing run for a couple of days, and we'll come back and test the water and make sure it's all good. With that, we have one more addition that we're going to go ahead and add, which will also add some beneficial bacteria, because these are coming out of a pre-set up system. And that is some floating plants. And here is some fresh grown frog bit and a little bit of duckweed. And I actually am putting this out here because this is going to be a dual purpose setup, and I'm going to actually grow some duckweed and frog bit in here as well. So let's go ahead and get some water in here and let this stuff get into this system. With that, guys, we will see you back here in a couple of days where we add some fish to this thing. So this little pool pond is cycled, completely cleared up, and well, we need to go out somewhere and get some fish. We are here to pick up hundreds of guppies. Wait a minute, you said guppies, not puppies. Well, we got our guppies, and unfortunately we have to leave the puppy behind. See you later. Okay, so we're back. We have our fish. We actually have a whole bunch of stuff in here. Some of this stuff is for a future video. We're not going to talk about that right now. You'll just have to subscribe and stay tuned and come back and see what all the other stuff is for that's in this box. But for now, let's go ahead and get this box over here, get these fish unpacked, and let's start acclimating these little boys and girls to this new little pool pond, because this is going to be amazing. There are going to be so many fish in here. So let's get this done now. This little pool pond actually looks really good, and it's a perfect little setup to breed feeder guppies for whatever your purpose may be, whether you use them as feeders or you actually use them as dither fish. A lot of the times they color up and they actually look really good. It's just when they're this size, you don't know what they're going to turn out like. In fact, if you look at the footage from underwater, you can see some of them have really good color and they would turn out to be really good fish in an aquarium somewhere. But for whatever your purpose is of breeding them, this is a super cheap and super easy way to set this up. I actually bought those little blue plastic pools at the end of the year clearance at Walmart at the end of the summer for $1 a piece. They're perfect. And then with the gravel, it's like half a bag of pea gravel, which is like one whole bag is $5. So, you know, you're talking about $2.50 worth of gravel, maybe $2 worth of sand. You can pick up that sponge filter at freshwaterscrub.com. Like I said, use the code GUPPY for 10% off your order. Arowana merchandise, angelfish merchandise, plants, everything that is over there. And then plus an aerator. So you're looking at all in maybe $20. And then, you know, the fish are, depending on where you buy feeder guppies, I mean, you're gonna pay 20 cents a piece for them. It's a really cheap and easy way to breed your own feeders if you happen to need feeders for something. But with that, guys, hopefully you went on to enjoy watching us set up this little blue pool pond, and make sure you come back and check up on this thing. So I'll give you some updates and some upcoming videos. You know, we've got the 100-gallon that got scaped by MD fish tanks that we can show you, all kinds of stuff, and there's a lot more stuff coming. This is coming. This is coming. All kinds of things are coming to the channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Links to both are down below. And with that, guys, I'm really, truly 100% grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for spending your time with us today. And hey, we will see you next time.